Alright, so here's my pure alien deck profile. I'm just going to put the cards right over here somewhere. Alright, so let's get started with this. I'm playing 3 Alien Warrior, 1800 Beat Stick. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, put 2 A counters on the monster that destroyed it. If a monster with an A counter battles an alien, it gets -300 for each A counter. Magic terms -3/-3. It's just simpler to say that. A lot of the times I can just open Alien Warrior, set back row, and my opponent will not attack until that Alien Warrior is gone, so they will go out of their way to destroy it, which is kind of what I want them to do, actually. If you're wasting cards to destroy my first turn level 4 normal summon, rather than battling it, I am perfectly happy with getting rid of your destruction abilities. But also, if they do battle it, then you can put 2 A counters. If you need to, you can set Alien Warrior just so you will get those A counters, unless your opponent, again, destroys it. But at 1800, if your opponent's stuff does have A counters, that's pretty big, relatively. Because while aliens don't boost themselves up, they do make your opponent's monsters really weak if they're battling aliens. So 1800 or the 1600 that this next card, Alien Kid, has, 1600 points on him. Put 1 A counter on all monsters special summon to your opponent's side of the field. -3/-3 per A counter. Obviously, just normal summon Alien Kid or special summon with Called Haunted. You can. This kite lets you use Called Haunted sort of as a max C, in a way, because you can flip call, put him on the board, or just summon him, and your opponent then, if they know what aliens do anyway, are not going to want to summon a boss monster or anything like that, because obviously you can just take it with Brainwashing Beam. So if they do, they have to just hope you don't have Brainwashing Beam or Interdimensional Warp, or I don't play it, but Mass Mind Control, I think. Well, no, that's not what the name of the card. I don't know. What? Anyways, next up we got Alien Dog. When you normal summon an alien, special summon this card from your hand. When you do, place 2 A counters on face-up monsters your opponent controls. At first I was like, but he's level 3, not 4. That's really inconvenient, because I can't make rank 4s. But I'm not, because there's this card right here called the Great Old One, Hastor, which is awesome in this deck. Card's awesome to begin with, but even better when put into this deck. And I'll get to that later. So being a level 3 is actually very helpful. Even though I can't make rank 4s, it's nice for the synchro plays. So yeah, you special summon Alien Dog, put 2 A counters onto the board. I mean, as simple as that. You just play them to get the A counters, and the synchro plays are also very nice. When Alien Mars, this guy's very situational, but normally you don't even need the effect. He's a level 3, so it works the same thing Alien Dog does level-wise in the extra deck. So yeah, he's playable either way. And another alien name in the deck. The effects of effect monsters with A counters are negated except Alien Mars. So, if you've got a Planet Pollutant active, everything your opponent summons is going to have A counters. If you have an Alien Mars out, all their effects are negated. And hopefully, you should be able to defend Mars with your back row. So, yeah. And therefore, keep everything negated. And if your opponent's playing an old monster deck and you've got a Planet Pollutant active and an Alien Mars on the board, it's going to be really good. Problem is, of course, Mars is a 1000/1000, doesn't have the -3/-3 text. Yeah. But, if you can protect him from battle, then there's really little else that can do anything about Mars. So, in that situation, Mars is really good. Next up, we've got Alien Gray, also a 1-of. Flip, place 1 A counter on a monster you're putting controls, -3/-3 text. When this card is destroyed by battle after being flipped face up, draw a card. So if you put an attacks into your face down Alien Gray, put an A counter on the monster, draw a card. So he is essentially a +1 because you're drawing a card to replace Alien Gray and then you get an A counter. You've got Brainwashing Beam. That monster's mine. Until my end phase, which is the duel going to go on that long? So aliens do actually have potential to end games very quickly, which is strange. Pure aliens can end games very quickly. And then next up, we've got probably one of the most important monsters in the main deck. Alien Ammonites, level 1 tuner. It's like Junk Synchron. Alright. When this card is normal summon, you can special summon one level 4 or lower alien from your graveyard, destroy it during the end phase. Every monster in the main deck is a target for Ammonite. Every single one. Normally, though, you're just getting Alien Warrior or Alien Kid, because they're level 4s, and Golgar is a level 5 synchro that requires Ammonite and an alien monster. So, Ammonite, Warrior, synchro. It essentially lets you normal summon Golgars. Obviously, you can also use it to go into Armatis and whatnot. People other than me might decide to play different synchros. I do have like a lot of options lined up for my extra deck. There are a lot of options in this deck that you can actually do. So, then 1 Regeki, of course, playing 1 Soul Charge, 2 Duality. I'm only playing 2, not 3, even though it's at 3, because I don't want to open with a bunch of them. It's terrible. Opening with multiple dualities just sucks. And this way I can play them, but without the risk of opening a ton of duality. If I open 2, it's still going to be fine. But if I open 3, that would be definitely problematic. 2 Space Typhoon, 2 A-Cell Breeding Device. During each of your standby phases, put an A counter on a face-up your opponent controls. It is a continuous spell that you can bounce with Golgar's effect. So you can use it to facilitate Golgar's ability, put A counters on things, get more A counters everywhere. A counters for everyone! Yay! At first I thought this card was going to come out of the deck completely, but it just went to 2. I just put it down to 2. Because it's actually really good in here. Because you do have the ability to slow your opponent's game down enough to where it's very easy to just get to your standby phase. I mean, you're easily able to get there. So, it's not a problem at all. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. I'm playing 2 Planet Pollutant Virus. It's a card you have to be careful with, but it is really, really good. It's a torrential tribute that only kills your opponent's face-up monsters. Tribute 1 Alien, destroy all face-up monsters without A counters your opponent controls until the end of your opponent's 3rd turn after this card's activation. Put an A counter on every monster they summon. So obviously, put A counters on everything, you can take them, but it manages the board, makes sure there isn't tons of stuff you can't deal with. You can use it to easily stop your opponent from making plays at all. And then for 3 turns, everything they summon gets an A counter. Well, since I'm playing pure aliens, that actually matters a lot. Things having A counters. And if they're summoning with an A counter and I've got an alien warrior out, or an alien kid, then they're getting -300, -300 for each A counter. Then I already got 1 when they summoned. If I've got Alien Kid and it was a special summon, that's 2, so that's -6, -6. I'm just saying. And then, of course, the 1 Torrential Tribute, because Pollutant Virus does get in its own way, in that then everything has A counters, so you can't have anything with it. So yeah, 2 Pollutant, 1 Torrential. 2 Interdimensional Warp. Trade a monster you control with a monster that has an A counter. trap, so you can do this during your opponent's combo stopper. And you do get to keep the card permanently, and unlike Creature Swap, you get to choose the monster they give you, so there's that. And then I'm playing 3-Dimensional Prison. At first I was playing 2 Mirror Force, but as usual I decided that card is complete garbage and took it out. Now I'm playing 3-Dimensional Prison, and it's been working really well, because this deck doesn't deal well with dealing with a lot of the newer stuff. The big monsters that protect themselves from destruction, you know? Golgar can't pop them. So Dimensional Prison is definitely a very good way to get rid of those things. And then we've got Offering to the Snake Deity. Tribute a Reptile, destroy 2 cards on your opponent's board. This card is, I think I mentioned it already, that everything's Reptile, including the extra deck. I have Reptiles in there as well, of both Synchros and Exceed. I have Reptiles in there, so I do have targets if I have to use an extra deck monster. Ideally, I'm going for Reptile so that I do have a target for Offering if I have to use it. But yeah, obviously, if your opponent Mirror Forces you, Chain Offering, tribute the monster, but hey, I'm treating it anyway, pop those 2 cards on your board, and I'm actually going to plus off of your Mirror Force. Because you're losing this card and the Alien. The opponent is losing the Mirror Force and the 2 cards are popping, so get a +1. It's a very easy +1 if you're using it to chain. Also a good chain to Torrential Tribute and things of that sort. Also lets you dodge bottomless trap holes. Very, very good synergy with the main deck. And you can use it with the extra if you have to. 3 Fiendish Chain, it's a combo piece in the deck, and I will get to that. Brainwashing Beam, select 1 monster. Playing 3 Fiendish Chain, because it's a combo piece. 2 Brainwashing Beams. Select 1 monster with at least 1 A counter on your opponent's side of the field. Take control of it during each of your end phases. Remove an A counter from the controlled monster. If all A counters are removed from the monster, or that monster is destroyed, destroy this card. So, if the monster is removed from the field without being destroyed, example, you take a level 4 and you Exceed with it. You take a level 4 and you Synchro with it. You take a level 3 and you Synchro with it. Whatever. This card's going to sit on the board. So, and the reason you want that, same reason as Fiendish Chain, and that's why I said I'll get back to Fiendish Chain, and I'll talk about all these at once. Next up, I'm playing 2 Call to Haunted. I'm playing Call over Revival, over a Powerful Revival. What was that card called? Dang it. Powerful Rebirth, sorry. Because Powerful Rebirth raises the level of the monster, and I don't want that. And then I'm playing Assault Morning, Call Haunted, Brainwashing Beam, and Fiendish Chains. They stay on the board if the monster they're targeting is removed, not destroyed. So you can use them to bounce for Golgars. Obviously, if they are attached to Golgar's materials, then you can bounce them back, use them again. And that is a huge strength of this deck, is being able to use Fiendish Chains, or Brainwashing Beams, and your Call to Haunted multiple times. Potentially an infinite number of times, as long as you control Golgar. So, let's get on to the extra deck here. Of course, we got Golgar. So we've got, first up, Red Dragon Archfiend. I am playing Red Dragon, not Hot Red Dragon, or Start a Spark, because it gets rid of face-down monsters, and that's something the deck can't really do outside of Golgar. So, yeah, it gets rid of a huge problem for this deck. And he's 2000 beater, so if Skill Drain is active, Red Dragon Archfiend. Black Rose Dragon. I'm playing 2 Cosmic Fortress in Golgar. This requires 1 Alien Ammonite, plus 1 or more non-tuner alien monsters. As I said, with Ammonite, you normal summon Ammonite, special summon an alien warrior from the grave, synchro into Golgar. Once per turn, you can select any number of face-up spell or trap cards, return those cards to their owner's hands, and then distribute new A counters among the monsters on the field, equal to the number of cards returned. Once per turn, you can remove 2 A counters from anywhere on the field to destroy 1 card your opponent controls. So, you can just attach 2 Fiendish Chains to your monster you summoned off of Alien Omanyte or to Alien Omanyte itself after you special summon. And then Synchro, and then bounce the chains with Golgar, that's 2 counters. And then pop a card. Done this a few times, it's really funny. People are always confused by it at first when you double chain your own monster and then Synchro with it. What are you doing? But then, of course, the combo goes off and it's really funny. So yeah, again, that's a huge strength of this deck is Golgar, making it a possibility to use these continuous traps multiple times. Also, returning to Kingdom is pretty fun. Next up, we got 1 Armades, 1 Samsara, Great Old One Hastur. Also a reptile. Sorry there. Also a reptile. 1 tuner plus 1 more non-tuner, level 4 synchro, 2300 attack. And then if he's sent from monster zone to the graveyard, you can attach him to a face-up monster your opponent controls. He basically becomes Fiendish Chain. If he's removed and that monster's still in the field, then you can take control of that monster. Or you do take control of the monster. So he works, not only is he a reptile, so he synergizes with the whole deck, but he really works well with the alien aesthetic. So, just taking things, and again, as I said, Fiendish Chain is a combo piece, and if you are attaching him to a monster, and then you can use Golgar to bounce him back to the extra deck, take control of the monster, and then you can make him again. So, again, he's another combo piece that works really well with Golgar. Basically, you want to summon Golgar and you just win. The Great Old One Cthugha. I haven't summoned this yet, but summon, bounce all the rank 4s, and then if you exceed with him, potentially you're exceeding into King of Feral Imps. You draw a card, and then you trigger King of Feral Imps effect, add an Alien Omanyte to your hand, summon Alien Omanyte, summon Alien Warrior from the grave, synchro into Golgar. Yeah. Armory Arm. Attaching this thing to Golgar is awesome. Also, you can attach Armory Arm to your opponent's monsters that you've taken either with Hastur, Brainwashing Beam, or Interdimensional Warp. And then that's really cool as well. So, next up we've got 1 King of Feral Imps. I'm only playing 1 because I'm playing an extra deck of options. I'm not playing a rank 4 spam build where I'm just King of Feral Imps and the King of Feral... No. I'm not even playing Higekages, so why would I play more than 1 King of Feral Imps? But yeah, the 1 is really great because it searches Omanyte, and then Omanyte lets you make Golgar. 101, Castile, Exciton, Cowboy, and finally, Crystal Chrononaut. Phenomenally Crystal Chrononaut. This really should be some other rank 3. Zenmaines, Leather, something, right? But it fits better with the alien aesthetic that I wanted to go for, so I'm playing Chrononaut. But yeah, as you can tell, basically I just summon Golgar. Gotta summon that Golgar. Yeah, Hastur as well. I make the cards I make the most, Golgar and Hastur. I make both of them almost every game. So I really like the deck. It's a lot of fun and potentially really good. Although every single time I end up against Nekros, I open complete garbage. Really, this is the matchup where I had to open bad? But it happens, and oh well. The ability to take an opponent's Trisha, I'm just saying. But also I've taken Beals, Utopia, which I maybe could have waited on to summon Lightning Utopia and give me that, but I didn't.